Now, the OC Transpo one, because over the weekend we received tweets from OC Transpo that multiple trips on the number 6 bus were cancelled. It turns out only 2 of those trips were actually cancelled, but users had no way of knowing whether the buses were actually running. It's just another chapter in the ongoing issue, of course, with OC Transpo communication. Rawlson King is here, City Councillor. He represents people on the route who had their plans changed because they thought the buses were cancelled and then they weren't. What a mess.
Yes, but there's better news because it was just 2 trips that were canceled according to OC Transpo management. So we had 1 trip that was canceled, I think, on the Saturday evening, and that was because of passenger illness. And then we had another trip that was canceled on a Sunday afternoon because of broken glass on the bus. But we did have a series of tweets that came out that talked about cancellations on the Sunday, basically due to traffic on Bank Street. And the high irony was that management actually reports that those routes, those trips actually did take place. So the messages were sent in anticipation that the buses would be canceled, but they weren't, and unfortunately there wasn't a retraction of those tweeted statements.
This is another chapter in the ongoing issue when it comes to communication especially since the launch of the LRT. Are you happy with the communication policy and the way they're acting, aside from just the Route 6 issue with OC Transpo?
No, I'm not. And so I've been at Transit Commission often talking about improved communication and open data, having better access for passengers to data. I think one of the good steps that is being taken, and that's being taken by my colleague, Councillor Kavanagh, is the introduction of a motion to see more accurate cancellation data and bus guidance data, bus location data through apps. So that was actually introduced as a motion at the last Transit Commission. I think that we need to get there. We need more accurate data, and we need to have more fulsome communication from the from the Transit Commission.
It's almost like they do everything backwards when it comes to the OC Transpo these days, whether it's the launch too soon, not enough testing, now the phase 2 issues, even communications. It's almost like you're acting like a small town with big city issues.
Well, we need greater transparency. I've said that all along.
Are we getting it?
Well, we really have to pull for it. I mean, I have to ask a lot of questions at Transit Commission around reliability. I asked for more information from the UK consultants that have been brought in.
Are they answering your questions?
And unfortunately, they said because they report to the consortia, they couldn't provide written information to Council or to the Commission concerning their approaches towards reliability.
Which raises a red flag for me, like they're trying to control the messaging, so they're not even telling you, a city councillor who represents the people, to get your questions answered, which should be 101 when it comes to transparency, no?
Absolutely, but that's why I've been elected, is to push for greater transparency, to ask those questions around greater reliability, ensuring that we can get there both with the light rail system and with our bus system, to ask questions about the high number of cancellations. Though we are doing slightly better on cancellations, I know that we've dropped from 233 cancellations to about 150 over a quarter, but to me that's not enough. When you're waiting for a bus in the dead of winter and it's minus 40 outside, you want your bus to come. So we're going to continue to ask the hard questions to ensure that we get to greater reliability for both the bus system and light rail.
We have a long way to go for paratransport as well. I mean, it's really ridiculous if you have to rely on paratransport in this service versus a city the same size elsewhere.
Absolutely. That's
why
service
is terrible.
It is, and that's why we are in close communication with many paratransport users. That's why I made an inquiry at Council to ask why didn't we have an online booking system in the summer? And at least they've made a forward motion on that. So I think the result of that inquiry, of that question, is now the implementation of an online booking system, which, by the way, that Toronto had for 10 years before us. So it's really important for us to continue to really improve the quality of those services and to have parity for paratransport users.
I got 10 seconds. Do you have faith we're getting all the answers in phase 2 debacle?
Well, you know, we have to keep on asking the questions. I'm happy that there was that motion to really provide us with more detailed information about the contract.
So the answers aren't coming yet. They're still waiting.
Well, we're still waiting, but we've made the ask. So we want to see all the details in terms of the contractual arrangements, and I think it'll be very important so that we can have greater transparency and have a better understanding of the competency around that contract, ensuring that the contract.
Keyword.
Yes.
Keep up the good fight, my friend.
Thank you.